Okay, what we're going to do now is vertical and horizontal translation. And when we talk about translation, what we basically mean is we're moving our parabolas left or right or up or down. Okay, so we're going to start with the standard parabola of just y equals x squared. We're going to look at what happens to make it go up or down, so what we do to the formula to move it up or down, and what we do to the formula to move it left and right. I have another program here that's going to help us with this, and that is GeoGebra. Okay, so we're going to start over here. Now, this is GeoGebra. We use it to show, we use it to do dynamic graphing. So if we want to change something and see what happens instantly, we can use GeoGebra to do that. Okay, so what I've graphed here is y equals x squared. If we want y equals x squared to move up, so let's say we want it to move 3 places up. It's really nice and easy. All we have to do is go plus 3, and it moves up 3. If we want it to move down, we make it minus 3, and it goes down 3. And that's it. Okay, so for up and down, all you have to do is add a number to the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say plus q, and we will make a q slider. Okay, so now what we can do is we can change the values of q, and you will see that the parabola will move up and down. So if we make q plus, and you can see the result to the formula here, okay, you move it up, it moves the parabola up, you move q down, it moves the parabola down. So that's the first feature of this. Okay, so let's put it back at 0. Whoa. Let's make q 0. All right, but we also want to know how to move the parabola left and right. Okay, now this is also quite nice. If we want to move the parabola to the right, for example, then what we're going to do is we're going to change this x into x minus 3. And x minus 3 is going to move our parabola to the right by 3 places. Okay, if we make it x plus 3, it moves us to the left by 3 places. Okay, now this is actually the opposite of what you would normally expect. Okay, so normally you would expect that if you want to move something right, you would make it plus. If you want to move something left, you would make it minus. But actually, the standard formula for this, we're going to make a p slider. The standard formula for this is actually that it's x minus p squared. Okay, so what we have here is that if p is positive, then it stays as x minus that. So we are making our p value positive to move it to the right. Okay, if we make p negative, so we want to move it to the left by making p negative, what you can see is p is minus 3, and what we have is x minus minus 3, which becomes x plus 3. Okay, so changing p, so it's now x plus 3 squared, gives us a parabola that moves to the left. If we make this p positive, so then our formula becomes x minus whatever our p number is, then it moves to the right. Okay, and this is how we move a parabola. So if we want to move it up and down, we change q, we add a number on the end. If we want to move it left and right, we change p. Okay, and that will move it left and right. And you can do them both at the same time as well. So we can move it up 2, and to the right 2, or to the right 3, whatever we like. Okay, and then it moves it away from the axes as well. Okay, we'll just write this as a quick summary. So in OneNote we have our standard formula here is called y equals a x minus p squared plus q. Okay, and a still does what it normally does. It tells you how steep the arms are and whether it's facing up or whether it's facing down, whether we have a happy parabola or a sad parabola. Actually, I'll put this over here. So a, if a is greater than 0, then we have a happy parabola. If a is less than 0, then we have a sad parabola. Okay, and it also controls the steepness, but you guys know that already. If we want to translate up, then we add q. If we want to translate down, then we minus q. Okay, if we want to translate to the right, then we add p. Okay, and if we want to translate to the left, then we minus p. Okay, and as I said, the experience with p is that it's kind of the opposite of what you expect. So if we want to move it to the right by 2 places, then we put in a plus p, which becomes x minus p. Okay, if you want to move it to the left, we put in a negative p, so then we get x minus negative 2. Okay, and that becomes x plus 2. So it does become a little bit confusing, but you will get used to it. Just remember the q is normal, plus is up, minus is down, and the p, if it's x minus p, it's moved to the right. If it's x plus p, it's moved to the left. If you have a formula like, for example, fx equals 3x minus 2 squared plus 1, and we want to know how we can change it to gx is 3x plus 4 squared minus 2, then we have to think about what we have done to get there. Okay, so our parabola started at 1 and went down to minus 2, so that means it's gone down by minus 3. Okay, so if we go down by minus 3, we now have that it's equal to 3x minus 2 squared minus 2. Okay, and if we want to now make it move to the left by 4, okay, sorry, it's moving to minus 4 on the left, which means we've actually got to move it 6 places. So it's now going left by 6 places. All right, and that will give us 3x plus 4 squared minus 2. All right, so you need to think about what's actually happening at each place. This is the step here to move it down, and this is the step here to move it to the left.